the season to be jolly, folks, and Blackburn Rovers are jolly for an extra reason as they make it 4 wins on the spin after beating Derby. We'll talk about it next. Right, folks, back once again with another match review. This time we're picking apart Blackburn Rovers' 4th win on the spin up against Derby County. We'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button, keep your bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, world football related. Oh, yeah! Underwooski. My jacket's falling apart. Holy goodness. Close your eyes, folks, if you're, scared of something looking nasty, because I gotta fix this. Gotta fix my jacket, or else we could be in a bit of a bumpy ride. There we go. I think I got it. Anyway, folks, let's get cracking. Take a little look at that match in a little bit more detail now, shall we? Obviously, Rovers picking up the big fat 1-0 W over Derby County. Philip Cocu's Derby, or should we call it Wayne Rooney's Derby in waiting. Manager in waiting, it looks like. 12,800 folks were in attendance to see this one, as Rovers to continue to defy the odds and win the 4th game on the spin. It's actually 5 games in 6 as well, if you want to take the Sheffield Wednesday victory and the Leeds game into consideration. So we are looking good form-wise. It was a decent performance overall. A lot of standout performances. Good defensively. Good overall midfield performance as well. We'll take a look at the numbers down here that matter. Actually, Derby had more shots than we did, 13 to our 11. We actually had more possession. Just shading it, 50.8% possession coming for Rovers, 49.2 for Derby. We were more successful with our passes as well. 80% of our targets, passes reaching the intended target, with 79% for Derby. We had more dribbles. We dominated the aerials and the tackles on the ground as well. We had also had some more corners than Derby as well. So their one and only goal came from Adam Armstrong with a bit of a belter. That's right, it'll go straight into the hat for one of the goals of the season, Rovers-wise. But yeah, some standout performances for Rovers, and that win shot us up the table and really looking over our shoulders now at potentially maybe a nice little end of the calendar year playoff run. That would be nice, just to surge ourselves up there and maybe just sneak in the top 6 before 2019 comes to a close. So let's take a look at some of the starting lineups. First and foremost, I'm going to get this earring off, or should I say Christmas decoration off. So obviously Christian Warren between the sticks for Rovers, Downing at left back, Lenihan, Adam Armstrong and Nyambe complete the back four with Travis Evans in those defensive midfield slots. Dacarino, Rothwell, Armstrong and Big DG up top. It's the same 11 that's won the past 2 games at least. Will it stretch into another game when they take on Swansea City on Wednesday? You know what? Why change it? If everyone's fit and raring to go and they got another 90 minutes in their tank, then so be it, because they've been playing good, very threatening moving forward. This with Rothwell can pick up the ball and do a nice little mazy run, that as he does all the time. Armstrong as well, obviously got the goal today. DG and Dak, that formidable partnership is crucial to our progress and has been since our League One days. So, and obviously Darragh Lenihan at the back is a solid centre-back, and he showed it in immense quantities today. And Tonton Adebayo, I had my doubts at first, but he's looking the part. He is looking the part. And what a couple of full-backs we have in Paul Downing. Despite his 35 years of age or whatever he is, he's still probably one of the fittest players on the pitch. I don't think he's ever been substituted for Rovers since he's got here. And Ryan Nyambe as well, doing absolute bits down the other side. So a very, very good performance overall by Rovers. These are my match ratings for the fellas. We're going to kick it off with Bolton. He had a 7. Downing also had a 7. Lennon had a 7. Tonton Adebayo had an 8. Ryan Nyambe also had an 8. Travis with a 6. Evans with an 8. Dacarino with a below par 6. But you know what? It's just he just had he was involved in a lot of stuff. Just to be honest with you, I thought he was at an under par day with his attacking finishing sort of thing. Rothwell with a 6 as well. Armstrong, we'll get to you, has a 7. And Big DG has an 8. I think I might have got them flip-flopped around a little bit. I'm not too sure about the Graham 8. But anyway, it stands. How about Derby? Well, this is their lineup. Hamer was in goal. In fact, back up. Hamer was in goal. Malone, Forsyth, Davis and Wisdom. Holmes, Bilic and Dowell in the midfield 3. Lawrence, Waghorn and Bogle up top. Bogle will be pushed further forward with ex-Rover Lawrence in there as well. They just looked a little bit lackluster, a little bit dull. I don't think they wanted to be there, to be honest with you, on a wet and windy day, wet and windy afternoon up in Lancashire. So no real stand-up performances. I thought once Lawrence came off, Their major threat had been taken off. Waghorn did have the ball in the back in there, but it was ruled out offside. Marriott also had a gilt-edged chance right at the edge. It was a substitute for Derby. But up step Walton to defy the odds and keep another clean sheet. He's looking good at the moment. For Rovers, absolutely bits. Let's take a look at some more numbers for you that matter. We actually had 704 touches compared to Derby's 671. We had more passes as well, 512 compared to their 496. And down the bottom there, you can see where some of the shots took place. On the left-hand side, Rovers, 3 shots on target. Derby just the 1. They actually had 3 shots off target. And we also have the 1 big fat goal. And it just shows whereabouts on the grid the shots took place. Now, if you're a heat map man, just like me, this will be a bit of interest for you. It shows where the major bits of possession took place. Rovers in that defensive third seem to be a good area for us to keep the ball, hold the ball a little bit while we try to sort of create our chances. And then also down the right-hand side with Nyambe with his mazy runs. He seemed to have whoever was on his opposite number in his back pocket. He just kept on burning up and down this right-hand side here and creating some chances, some opportunities for maybe Rovers players to stick it in the back of the net. But the one and only goal came from Adam Armstrong, who he picked that one out. As for the one and only goal, it wasn't Adam Armstrong. It's about bloody time we see him score some goals, and it was a bit of a belter. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check out the old official Blackburn Rovers YouTube. That'll have the highlights on there pretty soon. And there were some other small chances for Rovers to possibly extend the lead, but we could never find that magical second goal, which would have made it a little bit more easier towards the end. Because the last 7 or 8 minutes were very, very nervy, and if we were going to go away with just the point, I would have been absolutely disappointed, and the mood would have absolutely been killed there, heading into a very, very difficult week. Speaking of a difficult week, we'll get to that in just a minute, but how about some of the people on social media? Well, we have Rosina said this: never felt more like singing the blues when Rovers win and Burnley lose. Oh, Rovers, you got me singing the blues. Liam, aka Sharples Yates, said, can someone explain to me how Corey Evans has gone from Jay Spearing to Prime Vieira in the space of 2 weeks? I can't explain it. Sam Miller said this: struggling Blackburn Rovers, a point off high flying, all conquering Preston North End. That's right. They were top of the league just a couple of weeks ago, but now look at them. They are falling down the table like a stone, and we're on the rise. Meanwhile, Matt Stilto says there's 4 in a row. Hard fought from Rovers today, but that's what it takes to get 3 points in this division. Thompson and Dyer, that are absolutely immense. December started in style. Becky said this: 4 in a row. Big shout to Stevie Downing, being class filling in at left back. He's not filling in left back. He owns it. He bloody well owns it. Emma Douglas said this: Adam Armstrong only scores belters, and a belter indeed. Meanwhile, the Mexican Rover, big fan of the channel, big fan of his. Rovers, what a great performance. We were better than 90 minutes and reserved those points. 4 wins in a row. Great Rovers. We defeat a very good rival and vying better, getting better. Can finish on top 10. I know, I trust. Be like that. He's in the tequila, is the Mexican Rover. Meanwhile, Mike Delap said this: even Luna's going belters at the back there. Whoop, 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 whoop. Luna with the little vuvuzela. There she is. Playing the old vuvuzela. Vuvuzela Luna. Loving it. We're in the party mood here at the studio. Yeah. Mike Delap said this: the centre-back pairing continues to flourish. Lederhan just goes full Hulk on anyone within 5 yards of him. Tossin, on the other hand, plays it out to midfield and flanks with intelligence. Not seen at Ewood for a while. The one and only Deuce, another fan of the channel, fan of his. Probably a more nervous ending than that game deserved, but all 3 points and 4 wins on the bounce for Rovers. The rest of the week is going to be much more difficult. Hopefully we can take confidence into it through and push on. Chris Martin also always full of words. Another day, another win, another good performance, another great goal to saviour, another solid defensive display, another 3 points. I'm happy, you're happy, we're all happy. Just give us the title now. Meanwhile, it's not fair on everybody else. Hashtag announced promotion. Canadian Rovers said this: ups and downs, highs and lows, onward and always the way it goes. Rovers, 4 on the bounce. Tony and the boys, he says. As my green screen goes nuts. Turkish Delight said this: it wasn't long ago I thought Tony Mowbray's time was up here. Who am I to think that now, today, and Brentford in particular, we've been outstanding. Didn't give Derby a kick until the last few minutes. Thompson has been class, but up Corey Evans, unreal again. Get in. Meanwhile, Northern Rover said this: beautiful, 4 wins on the bounce. Delighted for Tony Mowbray in particular. Hopefully he gets the respect he blooming well deserves. And Jen Bellamy said this: so today's favourite number is the number 4. 4 wins in 4 and 4 home wins on the bounce for the lucky galley shirt. Formidable scenes. Hashtag Rovers. And that's what they had to say. What about the gaffer? Here is him with his latest thoughts and opinions about Rovers after that match.
The scoreline flattered them a little bit, I think, but at 1-0 it's always a bit nervous in them last 5 minutes, but we got the job done, got the points. 1-0s are always important in any season, so happy enough. It's a dangerous game on the back of 3 wins to take your foot off the gas and think you just have to turn up and perform, but I thought right from the first whistle the intensity of the team was good tonight and we never let them breathe really. Yeah, he should have scored towards the end of the first half, shouldn't he, when he went through one-on-one. The keeper made a decent save, but that's Adam Armstrong for you. He can score wonder goals. He can also blast them over the stadium stand, but listen, he's a brilliant kid. He's a centre forward by trade and he's working hard as he does in the wide areas. He's just learning football, I think. He's learning a work ethic, and it's great when you've got wide players who can score goals as well as your 9 and 10. I think listen, we just talked to him about his body language really. At times he can look a little bit easy-ozy, a bit laid back, but tonight I thought his intensity was good. I thought first half he looked really composed with the ball, stands there, waits for people to close him down, passes past them. Second half it was him winning headers in the box, it was him poking away the threats, it was him blocking it. And Lenihan, listen, Lenihan, and we've talked in the past, I don't think it's coincidence that Lenihan, when we went through a poor spell, inability to win games, Lenihan was out injured, and I think there's a combination there that's good. Lenihan's a warrior. I mean, once there the whole stadium shook when Lenihan went, blocked something, it went up in the air and he smashed about 3 or 4 of them over with a header. But yeah, Tossin, wonderful lad, wonderful character. I've told him he reminds me a bit of Gary Pallister. You know, I played with Pally in the 80s and got them big long legs that can poke things away, wrap around strikers, wins his headers, fast as lightning. I think he just has to keep working on his intensity, working on his body language on the pitch, show that he cares and wants it, and he'll be okay. I'm sure he'll have a fantastic career. I think football's really fine margins. I don't think there's much changed. I think we've worked really hard on trying to work on the intensity of the team, and I think what happened was that we are trying to become a more controlled football team with the ball. I've discussed this with you on Thursday afternoons in press conferences. When we've been for 2.5 years a pretty direct team into Danny Graham on a diagonal to drop it and play around the edge of their box, around with Dak and players playing around the opposition's box, which you can do in League One. Doing that in the Championship last year, we finished 16th, I think, or 17th, I don't know, but and I think if we continue doing the same, we'll finish the same. For me, we've been trying to work on more ball retention, more positional play, controlling games better, and what it did, it took the intensity away from the team because they were thinking so much about where should I stand, where do I need to be, where have I got to pass it, where's my options, and they forgot to run and chase and tackle and fight and win balls that they shouldn't be winning. And so it's a process really. You have to understand the game, but you have to work your socks off every single game, and it's just getting that balance between the two. And I think tonight there was a lot of evidence, even though it was only 1-0, there was a lot of evidence that the team worked to its maximum and also played some nice football and didn't just boot long diagonals onto Danny Graham, and that's what we have to do. And when we get that right and we get that balance right, we'll be a really decent football team in this league. Well, I think particularly in the Championship, you know, I said to staff this morning actually in the training ground that I think in this league at this moment 3 points is actually more than 3 points, because there's so many draws, it's unbelievable. You know, I watched the game last night, Millwall Forest looked like they're going to win it and Millwall score last minute. It's so many draws, so tight from top to bottom. Every team, the top team can get beat by the bottom team and vice versa, and 3 points is a massive result for any team, and because there are so many draws in the Championship every single weekend.
Meanwhile, what's going on elsewhere out in the Championship? Well, there's been some other bit of a fortuitous weekend for Rovers. We move up the table a little bit. Yesterday, Millwall and Nottingham Forest duked down to a 2-2 draw. Leeds did beat Huddersfield earlier in the day, 2-0 win for them to go top of the pops. QPR beat our fellow Northwest rivals 2-0 in the end. QPR pick up the victory. Fulham lost at home to our opponents in a couple of days time. Bristol City 2-1 in the end. Cardiff put 3 past Barnsley in a bit of a topsy-turvy game, that one. Barnsley looked in complete control there, but Harris has got another victory, 3-2 in the end for Cardiff. Reading were succumbed to another 3-2 defeat themselves. Birmingham picking up a win on the road, 3-2 in the end. Hull 2-1 winners over Stoke. Middlesbrough picked up another victory as well. Good result for Woodgate. 1-0 win for them. Sheffield Wednesday put 2 past Brentford, who slumped a little bit. And Luton picked up a monstrous win against Wigan. Strugglers Wigan. Tomorrow will be West Brom against Swansea. This is what the table looks like as it stands. Leeds are top of the pops, 43 points on the board. West Brom have a chance to leapfrog them tomorrow. Fulham, Bristol City, Nottingham Forest and Sheffield Wednesday all in the playoffs. Down the bottom it's Barnsley, Stoke and Wigan going down. As for today's opponents, Derby are in 16th spot. Rovers up to 11th. A win away from 5th. Did I say that correctly? I said a win away from 5th. A win away from 5th, just in case you can't hear that. 1 win away from 5th. Not 6th, 5th. That's right, folks. That's pretty much all I've got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up. If you're new, smash the subscribe. New videos pretty much every single day on the channel. We're going to have our preview for the Swansea game, probably live sometime Sunday, maybe early Monday. We'll have to see how it goes. Of course, we have our championship predictions as well. Make sure you just come and stick around for that sucker. We should be able to do that live. Fingers crossed, but it is the weekend. It's a bit slam-packed. We'll see how we get on, but stay tuned and look on the channel. If you want to know if I'm going to go live, make sure you smash that subscribe button. It'll keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, world football related. We're going to here underwater Rooski. Can we make it 5 wins on the 5? Can we make it 5 wins on in 5 and go up to 5 in the table? Get your thoughts and predictions in your comment section down below. For Swansea, Wednesday, we'll do it all again and hopefully we'll have the same sort of outcome with a big fat W going to Rovers. Until I see you all again, very, very busy week ahead of football. Double match day once again. Three games within a week. Hopefully we can get some ball points on the board. Until I see you all again, make sure you smash the thumbs up and subscribe. And I'm out of here. On to the Baileys. Bring it on. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.